Guys, I just want to remind you that timestamps are available in the description, so you can just click on those to jump around the video. And also, if you have a video request or would like to speak to me, you can do so by clicking on the link in description. And now let's begin.
This is how to talk to a feminist. Let's begin.
So the history of feminism
Be quiet!
is actually...
Shut up. Shut up.
Oh, okay.
More and more men are waking up and realizing that the juice is not worth the squeeze. Today's video comes from Hit the Bricks, and his channel will be linked in the description. It's titled, "My girlfriend cheated, so I secretly moved out and left the evidence on the kitchen table." Watching this video to fully understand the implications of men walking away from relationships and how this will affect women going forward into the future. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
There's one where a guy gives his cheating single MOM girlfriend a big surprise when he found out that she was cheating on him. And instead of blowing up or anything like that, you're going to see that, well, he handles it the right way. Title, I am leaving her tonight. He says, I've been with my partner for 3 years now. As always, things started off great. She has a daughter that I've grown to love as my own, even though her biological dad is still in the picture. Dating the single MOM, huh? Being the white knight. I dropped everything for them. I got a bigger apartment, I switched jobs to make more money, I changed everything to give them the peace of mind that they deserve. It was all better than I could ever imagine until this weekend. Smack! Right there. I'm going to read that again just to really hit home here. I dropped everything for them. I got a bigger apartment, I switched jobs to make more money, I changed everything to give them peace of mind they deserve. Well, maybe her kid's a good kid and deserves something very nice, but why doesn't the biological father contribute there?
And I kind of just want to make a point here. You know, guys, this is where a lot of the men who do this type of thing, the guy in this video that he's talking about, this guy would come after someone like me. He'd say that, Angry, you're just a very angry man who hurt you. When I start telling you about the way women operate, the way that women think, the dangers that men are facing, this is the type of white knight, this is the type of idiot that would come in and come after me and attack me, try to shame me, try to shut me down, try to ruin my life, okay, and everything that I've built, just trying to help other men and teach other men that men and women are not the same. Men and women think differently. It's not to say that you should go around disrespecting women or hurting women or any of the sort, but just explaining that women operating on feelings, men operate on facts. What women think and what women do, what women will do, are not the things that men typically visualize. Men are applying logic and reason. Women do not typically operate on logic and reason. They operate on feelings, and their logic and reasoning is based around feelings, while our logic and reasoning is based around facts. And of course, there's a lot of bad behavior that women engage in because society has taught them that it's okay for them to do these things to men, to take advantage of men, to use men. We're just viewed as disposable objects in society. A lot of these men don't want to understand this. A lot of these men will even try to argue with me and say that the Bible says that it's the man's job to sacrifice for a woman. No, the Bible says that the man should basically love his woman and, take care of her, love her the way that Jesus loved the church, and the church being his followers. Okay? It does not mean that you become a martyr or you sacrifice your own well-being for a woman. And you're basically making up for someone's bad decisions. And guess what ends up happening? Someone like this gets involved with a single mom, marries the single mom, ends up taking care of the kids of the single mom, has a kid with the single mom, and then basically finds out the single mom was cheating on them the entire time. Single mom walks away with the house that they purchased before they even got married. Now he has to pay child support, and it's a ton of money in child support. And he's basically he's miserable. It's going to be 18 years a slave. And he's like, I don't understand how this happened. How could this all have happened to me? There has to be an explanation. And then he starts sitting there in his simpish way after his life's been fucked over, after all the different guys that he's spread his simping to. And then he thinks back to Angry. And he goes, Angry was right. Angry was right. They remember me. I always stand out because I'm one of the few that tell it the way it is. And I'm not telling you, I'm not telling you this to hate on women. I've had great relationships with women. I have a great relationship with Mayumi. I really like Mayumi as a person. But the utter truth is that Men and women are not the same. And if walls could talk and you understood how women think and the things that women actually will do, it's frightening. Okay? And when these guys have their lives destroyed, that's when they come back to angry. They're not dealing with angry when they were making $500,000 a year. And life was sweet. Okay? They weren't dropping angry a Cash App. Okay? They weren't doing any of that. And angry wasn't asking. But now, when your life is completely in the fucking gutter, you're gonna come back to me after you berated me, talk shit to me, and you're and wanna, oh hey, let's be friends, man. I fucked my life up. How you been? Bro, I haven't heard from you for 10 years. Yeah, man. I got fucked, man. I got fucked. Dude, you were fucking pissing me off last time you were here. You're talking all this shit to me. I mean, you tried to get rid of me. Man, listen. Boy, have things changed. You motherfucker. You see, guys, that's why people are two-faced. That's why I said, if you talk shit to me, because I block a lot of you and then you pop up on my other channels and then beg me not to block you over there. If you talk shit to me and you ever come back, okay? You better put Sama on my name. Sama on my name. I'm warning you. You better come back on your hands and knees and you better put Sama on my name. Because when you go out there into the world and your life gets fucked, and then you want someone who understands, I'm one of the few YouTubers that you can send an email to, you can reach out to, you can tell your story to, and I'll respond to you. Okay? You don't get that type of value in a lot of other places. So, and I do this because I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson. And I don't think I'm bigger than and better than anyone else. There's a guy out here who calls, some Gen Xer on here who calls me his little brother. All right? I actually like that. All right? He calls me little bro, brother from another mother. I'm 41. I absolutely love it. But if you're going to come into my house and talk shit to me, especially when I'm doing this shit for free and providing you with value, I spend 70 hours a week, over 70 hours a week doing this shit for you to run your fucking simp mouth. You better come back on your hands and knees like Usopp when he got disrespectful with Luffy and the crew. All right? Back in, I think it was Water 7 or some shit like that. Back on your hands and knees, begging for forgiveness, calling me Sama, and knowing that you damn well better never try that shit again. If you ever have those thoughts again, if you ever have those feelings again, you quietly leave. That's another thing. If you disagree with me and you don't like what I'm saying, you don't come and disrespect me. You quietly leave. Quietly leave. Why destroy the relationship? Let's just go ahead and jump right back into the video.
Dropping everything? Who does that? Nice guys. What happens to nice guys? Well, we all know. I'm sure he's a great guy, but you can't do this. Statistically, it's not going to work out very well for the guy. That's what I found out, that she's been cheating on me with her sister's roommate. And that's the thanks he gets for everything. She did not have a good relationship with her sister when we first met, and I encouraged her to rekindle it because I knew it bothered her. Her sister is a free spirit, rarely holds down a job, drinks and does absurd amounts of coke and X just to pass the time. So her sister's a giant effing loser. So you're encouraging her to have a better relationship with this junkie? Really? Can't hold a job, drugs, alcohol, and you're going to see who she hangs out with? Really, dude? Her sister lives with 4 guys who her and my partner have known since middle school. They seem cool enough the few times I've hung out with them, so whenever she wanted to go hang out with her sister, I wouldn't bat an eye. You wanted to go hang out with her junkie sister with a bunch of guys that are probably equally doing drugs and all that. Really? Come on, dude. I found out during our camping trip from Memorial Day weekend, when she was in the bathroom with her daughter, I grabbed her phone to look at some of the videos that she'd been taking, but admittedly, curiosity got the better of me, and I went through her messages, and that's when I saw her text to the roommate. Curiosity got the better of him. Maybe he was sensing something was up. Red flags he doesn't want to admit. I was almost paralyzed. I almost felt like I was going to black out, but I somehow managed to gather myself and chill out, and I took some screenshots of the text to have as proof and put her phone back in her bag. This poor guy, I mean, he set himself up to get hurt, but still, he thought he was doing the right thing, a good thing to help her, help the daughter. Thought he had a great girl, but the signs were all there. I didn't say anything to her. We only had a few hours left before we came home, and I wanted to spend those hours with her daughter. The past few days, I've been thinking of what to do, and the best solution I can think of is just packing my stuff and ghosting her.
Now, this guy did absolutely the right thing finally. He just said, fuck this shit, I'm done, packed his shit, and got the fuck out of there. But let me tell you something. I want to make this very, very clear regarding this. He hurt someone in this entire relationship. Do you know who he hurt? You know who he hurt? Not the cheating woman. She was cheating on him. She's the one at fault in all of this. No, he hurt that little kid. He hurt that little girl. This is something that a simp does not take into consideration when they get involved with a child that does not belong to them. Because that child is often in a hard situation sometimes, especially with these women. So they bring a good man into the life of that child, and that child now starts to associate value with that individual. But when that individual just disappears from their life very suddenly, now they're wondering what happened. Now they're thinking about all of the instability that's going to occur. Now they feel abandoned. You know, for example, sometimes first they felt like their fathers abandoned them. And it's not always that their father abandoned them, it's sometimes that their fathers just could not be in their life because of their mothers or something that their mothers are doing, or sometimes more often than not, it's because their fathers are Chaz Tyrone's, Ray Ray Spookies, Enrique's, Miguel's, Quan's, Hung Lo, and Little Poncho. Alright? And you know how these dudes do. Like they hook up, they have babies, but they're not fit to be fathers, okay? They're not fit to be fathers. And women then go looking for a plan B guy to raise the kids of one of these vagabonds. It's an absolute disgrace. The sad thing is that this destroys a lot of children because they get into a relation. The mother finds a plan B guy. The kid now is being raised by this guy. After so much instability, the kid feels finally at peace a little bit. Someone who's going to give them a stable life. Someone's going to help them with their homework. Someone who's not going to beat them. And then the mother is still cheating on them. The mother is cheating on this dude who is giving them so much value, and now he leaves, and that's going to destabilize the life of that child. And that's unfortunate. A lot of Sims do not think about how their actions affect everyone around them. I feel bad for the little girl. I really, really do feel bad for the little girl. And if you have to realize that if her mother is like this, if her mother's already in the streets like this, what do you think? How do you think she's going to end up? It's like basically you're just glancing and you're looking at a crystal ball, and you'll be looking into the future. I remember a comment from one of my subscribers recently, and she basically talked about how, growing up Gen X and what her experiences were, and like what her mother was like, her parents were doing. Like, it's some crazy shit. Like Gen X, we grew up hard, bro. We grew up hard. As I mentioned it, I actually pulled it up. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, this actually came from Jay Hall. She says, and this just shows you how Gen X suffered compared to the lights of the bad muffin Gen Zers, bad muffins, bad muffins. So she actually says, while there are many attributing factors in the downfall of how children are being raised, little keep to my one. Okay, raised. Let's keep to my main one grievance. So I just had to kind of change the grammar there. Let's keep to my one grievance that I feel pushed things into motion. I agree that in situations of abuse, CPS and like entities are necessary. Now, here's my big however. When you're doing what you're supposed to do and methods are firm, but not causing bruises or lasting damage, and they step in and tell you that you're being abusive. I personally went through actual abuse where I was bruised from head to toe. Sometimes I was gushing because I was hit with a metal ashtray, left home for hours and days while my parents were off having sex and going out to bars or partying with friends doing drugs. Then I have been on the other side where it wasn't abuse but rather proper discipline, a spanking, privileges taken away, a raised voice to redirect my behavior. There is a difference unlike what we are being told. I see kids just acting wild. I see kids just acting wild and parents just watching paralyzed in fear. That really sucks. it's true, in fear, trying to use gentle parenting, all because CPS says raising your voice and spanking are bad. What's even sadder is kids have taken this and used it to their advantage, claiming abuse because they didn't get their way. Crazier still is the fact that CPS is backing the children, allowing them to behave like that and blaming the parents. My daughter tried that on me and her father after we found out she was having a relationship with a 26-year-old and she was 1-4. Yeah, so I didn't you know and was using drugs in our home. We called the cops, had him arrested, so she threw a fit when we took her phone and laptop away in front of the police. So she then pretended to be suicidal so the police would take her to the hospital. And while they told them that we were abusing her mentally because we yelled and took away her stuff and that her father gave her the drugs, she gets sent to a mental health facility and we get CPS at our door. Lucky for us, the CPS worker saw through my daughter's BS and knew we weren't abusing her, and we were and we're doing what was in her best interest. But because of the drug accusations, they still had to go through drug testing and other stuff for legalities. CPS was in our life for almost 3 years, all his drug tests negative. We had to do family therapy and jump through hoops for the case to close and be deemed unfounded. This in large part is why kids aren't being parented. Parents' hands are being tied because they tell you time's out and punishment will work. But I'm sorry, when that all fails, what then? They don't have an answer, and if you go outside their lines, you can end up losing your kids and being placed in jail. It's crazy. Not all kids are the same. Some do not learn from being punished. Timeouts and groundation. Unfortunately, some are hard headed, and a spank is necessary. Oh shit. Like I said, many contributing factors have brought us to this point. CPS is just a larger part of the madness. Before anyone says anything, my daughter is good now. Her assailant is in prison, and she learned from this and now has a job, saving money for college, and respects us both for what we did for her. I'll tell y'all, I would have sent her off with CPS. I would have sent her away. Y'all, I would have, like, I don't play. Like, that's some of y'all angry. You're a piece of shit. Bro, I would have let that kid go so quickly. I would not have. That's why I don't want to have a daughter. You think I would have fought for them if it was a son, too, doing that kind. Listen to me. I remember years ago, I used to work at a call center and I had a call with this dude. And he was talking to me about his kids, and he was saying that he has sons and daughters, and he's like the daughters are just tough. And I said, well, what makes them so difficult? Why are daughters so much more difficult than sons? And he said, well, with sons, if they're acting stupid, you could just whack them over the head and tell them to act right. But with daughters, it's different. And I said, so what do you do? And then he goes, I drink. And I'm like, what? He's like, I'm joking, I'm joking. He wasn't joking. He wasn't joking at all. He was very, very serious. He was very, very serious. All right? I drink. Jesus Christ. And then you wonder why fathers have the worst hearts. Research studies have found that fathers have the worst fucking hearts. The worst fucking hearts. Oh my gosh. And then you wonder why? It's because of all the suffering and pain that men go through and all the bullshit that they have to put up with. The bullshit they have to put up with their kids and then the bullshit that they have to put up with the women that they're in relationships with. This is the reason why it's best to just walk away. All right? I've never heard a man say, even once, that he regrets getting a vasectomy. All right? A lot of men say it's the best decision they ever made. Having relationships, guys, listen to me, having children, it's not worth it for men in today's era. Oh, the world's not coming to an end. Well, if you don't have babies, then the world's gonna stop. No, it's not. Let the government deal with it. They got what they wanted. Let them deal with underpopulation. Let them deal with all this shit. I just want to play my video games and live my best life. All right? Do things that I'm passionate about. All right? Right guys, I don't play video games nearly enough. Do you guys really think I'm playing a lot of games, working 70 plus hours a week? Hell fucking no. It's crazy. But I know that whatever money I make that money, and that's my money. And that's going towards enriching my own life. That's going towards making my life better. And I'm not giving it to anyone. All right, guys, no way in hell should you be in a relationship with a woman that is emptying your wallet, that is costing you a ton of money. All right, the value that a woman will receive from you is basically there's a roof over her head. All right, there's a roof over her head, and you're basically covering the cost of food, and you're providing her with a roof over her head, food in her belly, clothing on her back. All right, and some money in her pocket. Not a lot of money either. All right, enough money so that she can afford to, pay bills and survive. That's it. All right. And let's be very clear. If she came into the relationship with a ton of debt, it's not your job to fix that. It's absolutely not your job to fix that. Okay? And if she's working, if she has a job and she's not sitting at home all day, then she also needs to pay for some shit. She also needs to pay for some shit. Let's make that very, very clear. Because if she thinks that you're in a relationship where you're the only one paying because that's your job, no, 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 no. You're not a traditional woman. A traditional woman is a woman who'd be staying at home all the time. That's not traditional. So if you're gonna go out there and you're gonna make money into the work in the world, you're going to pay for some shit. Or else you're suggesting that I'm basically paying you to be with me. If I want to pay for attention, I'll go and get a professional. I will go and see a professional. Let's make that very, very clear. Okay? Because if I'm paying you for a relationship, then that's just basically long-term escorting right there. That's basically, I'm basically paying for a long-term escort. There's nothing it's as simple as that.
There you go. Now you're acting like the type of guys that would mess with her. I'm quitting my job tomorrow morning, and after she's left for work, I'll grab my stuff and leave her with the printout of the messages that I read. There you go. Take off, head into the sunset, leave the messages on the table. Have a nice life, a-hole. The only problem is he has a real attachment to her daughter. And I'm sure her daughter's a great kid. And that's the hard part here. These guys give up so much to take care of the kid, and they got no rights to the kid, even if the kid's a great kid. It is a shame because they built the attachment. I'm still in the days. My whole life is gone now. The future I saw for us is nothing, and I'm not sure how to process all this still. I'm calling my brother a few states away to see if I can stay with him and set up shop elsewhere. Tonight, though, I have to lay down next to her, and I'm not sure I won't break down knowing what is coming. Bro, you gotta pull all the reserves of strength that you had to get through this whole thing. And you know what? A lot of guys would freak out and yell at her and everything, and not that she wouldn't deserve to be freaked out and yelled upon, but I think it's better to just shock her, blindside her by taking off and heading for the hills. She deserves it. But I hope he learns a lesson here. Now for his first update. He says, first off, I want to thank everyone for their kind words and advice. I'm doing the best I can right now, and I'm meeting with my boss in an hour so I can wrap that up. I'm also taking the advice of talking to her baby's dad about me leaving. We've always had a good relationship, and I want to give him a heads up on what is coming. As far as the apartment goes, we only have 3 more months on the lease, and I'm planning on paying the remaining months mainly so her daughter has someone to stay for the long time being. Why can't the daughter go with the dad? Right? You're going to pay another 3 months? But I guess he doesn't want to decimate his credit or something like that. I made sure she knows that I love her and always will, holding her this morning, knowing it was the last time that I ever see her, and that was the most difficult thing. The most difficult thing I've ever done, and took everything inside me not to sob while doing that.
You see, guys, women will do things like this to men and not even feel bad in the least. This is a pretty good guy. However, he messed up. He messed up. All right? He messed up getting into a relationship with a single mom in the first place. I honestly think that his decision to pay the 3 months of rent, they only had 3 months left on the lease, and I think that his decision, if it was within his means, was not the worst thing he could do. Personally, I will say this: that's probably a lot of money still, and the biggest problem is that he's going to lose all of that money. But, and I'll say this, but it sounds like what he's going to do is he's looking for a place to stay, family to stay with, friends to stay with during that period of time. So he'll end up looking for a place, stay with friends or family, and avoid spending any additional money or a lot of additional money, moving into another place. So in the end, he's still going to lose the least, the money that he may have spent on the, well, when you think about it, maybe he won't lose that money, like the money that he had to spend on the deposit. If he paid that, he would probably end up getting that back, hopefully. So he'd lose about 3 months of rent. But this is the way that he's choosing to go about this. A lot of men would not do it. Me personally, I would not. I absolutely would not spend that kind of money. However, in other countries, for example, if you go to the Philippines and you tried some shit like that, where you move in with a single mom and you're basically paying for her and her kid, and then you decide to just pick up and leave, you could actually be thrown in jail for leaving her in poverty. So the smartest move to make would be to pay something like 3 months rent, and then like this is in the Philippines. Pay like 3 months rent, give her a certain amount of money. So for example, say here's like a I'm going to pay the rent for 3 months. I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a certain amount of money to provide for yourself and take care of yourself for the next 3 months while you look for a job. And again, that's a smart thing to do. Many of you will get pissed off, but you have to use your head. Of course, put all of this in writing, get an attorney, and make sure that it's in writing, and make sure that you have an attorney present. This way, this way you cover your ass. All right? A lot of you don't want to listen, and you basically say you're going to do whatever you want. You say you have big balls, and then you get fucked, and then what do? You run right back to Uncle Angry. Uncle Angry, I got screwed. Wait a minute. Didn't Uncle Angry tell you not to do this? I don't know, you fucking bastard. You fucking bitch. I told you not to do this, and you went and you did it anyway. Get the fuck out of here. I don't have anywhere else to go, Angry. I said, get out of here. Angry Sama. What was that? Angry Sama. That's right, bitch. Don't you ever disrespect me again. I told you what not to do, and you were talking shit to me when you left, and now you have to come back to me with your tail between your legs, alright? Broken and busted. Broken and busted. Alright, guys? Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Learn from these mistakes. Learn from the shit that these men do, the mistakes that these men make. Because a lot of these men don't learn their lessons until it's too fucking late. Until it's way too fucking late.
Keep it under control, brother. I know you're deeply upset. It's understandable, but don't melt down. I'll update later once I have all my stuff and I'm away from the city. Thank you, guys. You have no idea how comforting it is to have your kind words to come back to. Update number 2, or update number 3. I know I said I would update when it was all over, but you guys are right. I should have a talk with her daughter before I go. And when her biological dad picks her up from daycare, I'll be meeting them and talking to her in person before I go. It means a lot to me. He is letting me do this. Hopefully, it's just enough closure for her. So I gotta ask, why is, this guy's soon-to-be ex-girlfriend and the biological dad no longer together? Maybe because he knows who she really is.
I have to say I have a lot of respect for the fact of how he's going about dealing with things with the kid. And he's just not disappearing on the daughter. This way the daughter knows that she was not abandoned by some other man. All right? This is guys, it just shows you how responsible men can be and how irresponsible most of the individuals that they get into relationships are. Modern women have been taught that there's no such thing as consequences, and they're able to flaunt or run away or avoid accountability at every turn. And it's terrible. So what ends up happening? Now you have to have two men acting like adults to protect the child. Do you see this? Y'all, I don't even know. I don't even know. I often say this, and I just want to point it out also, that sometimes a guy will go and he'll see a single mom and he'll think, oh, she's such a great person. And he wants to jump into the relationship with her. Sometimes a guy will see a woman who was in a relationship with another man. Maybe she's divorced, right? And you don't even know the reason why she got divorced from that other guy. All right? A lot of times, what men need to do is they need to find out, you need to find the woman's ex, and they need to go and speak to the ex and ask the ex, hey, listen, man, I'm dating this woman right now, and I'm thinking about marrying her. Why did you guys break up? Okay? And listen to me. He may say, listen, man, you have to figure that out on your own, or he'll tell you, dude, don't mess with her. Get the fuck out of here right now. Do not fuck with her. And you'll go, wait, what do you mean, man? What do you mean don't fuck with her? Bro, I was a millionaire. I was a millionaire when I met her. Now I'm a thousandaire. She fucked my entire life up. She cost me my house. She took everything. I never cheated on her. I was never abusive towards her in any way. Why did she leave you? Because she was bored. She was bored, and she was also cheating on me. What? She cheated on you? Yes, bro, she cheated on me, and I guarantee you she's already cheating on you. No, no, no. She loves me. Dude, she told me the same thing. She has a roster of guys that she rotates. Bro, how are you doing with her drinking and her drug addiction? What do you mean drinking and drug addiction? She doesn't drink and she doesn't use drugs. Oh my God, bro, you didn't know. She's hiding it from you. She's probably back on. When we broke up, she was still using. Using what? Mostly cocaine, but she's used crack. She's used crack a few times. Dude, you're in danger, man. You're in danger. You need to get out of that shit right now. You're just trying to scare me. All right? You're just trying to scare me. All right. You know what? Hold on. You seem like a good guy, and I don't want to see another guy go down. All right, let me grab my phone. Why are you gonna grab your phone? What are you doing? I need to make a call. Who are you calling? Who the fuck are you calling? I'm calling her brother. Her brother, yeah. Calling her brother. All right? Just a second. Hey Jason, how you doing, bro? Listen, I got this guy here who's trying to get in, he wants to move in with your sister. And Jason's on, you're like, what the fuck? Moving with my sister? Does he know who she is? That's why he doesn't want to believe me. I'm gonna put him on. I'm gonna put him on the phone. All right, bro. Here's my phone. Listen, don't break my phone. All right, don't break my fucking phone. I'm trying to help you out. So he gives the guy the phone. All right, gives the guy the phone, and he starts talking to her brother, and he listens, and her brother starts telling him all this shit, and he's like, "Don't listen, man. You need to get the fuck out of there. Do not get into a relationship with my sister. All right? She's a felon. She's got all of this and this and this, and there's a bunch of guys, man, stuff you don't know about, and I really can't tell you about. I'm just telling you, don't mess with her. All right? Get away as quickly as you can." And by the time it's over, now the guy's like, he's got tears in his eyes. He's filled with rage. He's pissed off. Guys, I'm telling you, there's a reason why she's not with her current husband or her ex-boyfriend. When you hear that a woman was in a long-term relationship with some guy and she basically just broke it off after a number of years, she'll always characterize it as though the guy was in the wrong. Guys, women will tell you fairy tales. They will tell you fairy tales, and then when you meet the men, you'll find out that the story that she told you is not even remotely true. In fact, it's completely twisted. Completely twisted. She made the entire fucking thing up. The guy, she's like, "Oh, the guy that I was with, he was a psychopath and all of this other shit." Turns out, she is the one who was the problem. She was the problem in the relationship. She's calling this guy a narcissist. Chick has borderline personality disorder. She's diagnosed. And she's also on the spectrum. All right? And it's just like it's one problem after another. All right, she has issues with substance abuse. She's been in and out of prison. She's had multiple felonies. All right, at least 5 or 6 arrests. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. Okay, serious mental health issues, substance abuse issues, and she doesn't tell you any of this. She turns around and tries to make you believe that it's the other guy, that it was her partner and the guy before him. Guys, you have to be so fucking careful. There's a reason why these women are alone. There's a reason why these women are not in relationships. Okay. It's because of the things that they have done. Leave her the hell alone. Leave them alone.
Right? And so probably has no problem here with this guy meeting with the girl, telling her goodbye and all that, because he's a good guy and he was probably screwed over just like this guy. Next update. I met up with her dad, with the biological dad and the little one. You guys are right. I really need to have that conversation with her to let her know that even if I'm not there, I'll always love her and that it's not her fault that I'm leaving. I did cry. I cried a lot, actually. I know I'll eventually fade from her memory and just become someone she has a vague memory of, but I'll remember her until my last breath. I never knew I wanted kids until she came to my life and showed me what true and pure love is. See, I mean, yeah, this guy made mistakes and the whole white knighting thing and giving everything up for them and blah, 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 and look what happened to her. But the guy cared about the daughter, and that's a big deal, and he was good to her. And now, that's it, they're breaking up, and it's over. He doesn't have any rights to her or anything like that. And it's just a shame, but at least he can tell the biological dad what's going on. But if this mother of hers is hanging out with her sister as a junkie, I'm sure she's probably doing drugs too. I mean, this is not a good role model for the daughter. Maybe the dad should be taking care of the daughter, if that could happen. I thanked her dad for letting me have that moment with her. I gave him that Disneyland picture in case she ever asked me about it. He is aware of what went down and who my ex is spending her time with. As for my ex, I left screenshots on the kitchen table along with my key to the apartment. Nice one, dude. He's redeeming himself a bit here. Imagine her walking home thinking she's getting away with everything, and there you go. There's the screenshots. There's the key. The lease is up in 3 months, and now you're going to have to adjust to a new lifestyle. Find another sucker, unfortunately. I blocked her number, and my family did the same. I also blocked any mutual friends' numbers in case she tries to reach me through them. It's crazy that I'm leaving behind the last 5 years of my life, but honestly, I can't stay here. If you gotta go, you gotta go. End of story. My brother was taking me out in LA, and I figured out that my next move is. I'm off all social media, and once I get to my brother's, I'll change my number. I'm sorry if this update is anticlimactic, but that's how I wanted this all to go down.
It's crazy how most of the time it's the man who ends up suffering the most when the relationship comes to an end. The vast majority of the time, it's the woman who ends the relationship. It's the woman who ends the marriage. And even when it's the man who ends the marriage, it's usually because she's been cheating on him. Most men do not just end marriages, where they're in a relationship with a good woman. It's because she was cheating on him or she was just being absolutely terrible to him. And he couldn't just deal with it anymore. In some cases, like one of my subscribers, he ended the relationship because he couldn't deal with those girls anymore. He had 2 daughters, 2 Gen Zers with this woman, and, he could not deal with those girls anymore, and he basically just ended the relationship so he could get not to have to be around those girls anymore because they were going to drive him insane. And he still sees them, he's still in their lives, but he's not actively dealing with them. And that's a smart move to make, knowing when to walk away. And again, he said that, I believe he said they're both Gen Zers. So if they're both Gen Zers, that means that the youngest is maybe 13 at youngest, but they're probably like 14, 15. So within 5 years, the child support payments are done. Within about 5 years, the child support payments are over. They're 18, no more child support, and he can be on his way. God bless him. God bless him. That's what men walking away is all about. It's men with alternatives, men with options. They're walking towards the things that work for them and away from the things that don't. You as a man, you should not put your well-being and your own livelihood at risk for anyone. That includes your wife as well as your children. Because what are your children going to do? If you cannot provide for yourself, then eventually you won't be able to even provide for your kids. So if your children are going to drag you down, it's best to walk away from them. I'm not saying you should just abandon your children because times are hard. But if your children are absolutely terrible to you, and their actions and behaviors are going to drag you down, make you homeless, destroy your life, then it's best to just leave them where they are and keep it moving. Okay? For me, and more, I'm realizing it's best just not to have kids. Maybe I'll go overseas one day and meet someone overseas and find a place where I feel like it's safe to have kids. I won't have to worry about child support, or, I know the laws very well, and I feel strongly it won't happen there. And even then, I know it's still taking a risk. But, and I'm not going to marry her. I'm 100%. There is no woman that will convince me to marry her, that will gain my trust. No woman. After everything I've been through, no woman is going to get that from me. Okay? Because no matter how kind she is, no matter how wonderful she is, after everything I've observed, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not getting married. Marriage is between between us and God. That's it. I also want to remind you guys that you never really know where life is going to take you. And one of the best things you can do for yourself is to always be prepared. Be prepared for the good times, but also you need to be prepared for the hard times, because hard times will always arrive. I want you guys to go ahead and look at our How to Buy Nothing and Thrive course, because we live in a challenging world, and knowing how to thrive without spending a dime can make all the difference. That's why I created the Buy Nothing and Thrive course. This 12-lesson crash course teaches you how to secure cash, money, food, housing, healthcare, and more, all without spending a dime for any of it. Imagine having a trusted advisor showing you how to leverage available resources to stabilize your finances and grow your wealth. Join me and learn step-by-step strategies to maximize what's available to you and enhance your financial stability. Click the link in the description to sign up now. Don't be like these men. Be a man that has learned his lesson. Y'all hear me? Guys, ultimately what's going to end up happening is more and more women are going to find themselves homeless, living in cars, living in shelters, living in the streets because of this behavior. This is why women are so furious that men are beginning to avoid them. They're furious because they know that men are beginning to wake up. They realize the juice is not worth the squeeze. And the only ones that are attracted to degenerate behavior, disgusting behavior, behavior that's tearing down society, the only men that are attracted to women that put down men like Henry Cavill for calling them nerds. Henry Cavill is a fucking Chad. All right? He has the looks of a Chad, but guess what? This guy is a nerd. This guy builds PCs. This guy is not getting into street fights. Okay? And they don't like him for that. All right, so they put him down and say that he's like they call him a little boy. He'd be better off, he'd be more happier talking about comic books. Like seriously, guys, this is the reason why, guys, the men that we respect, women disrespect. What does that tell you about the modern woman? This is the reason why, as men, it's always best to just walk away. Let me know what you guys think regarding everything we discussed here in the comments, and we'll talk about it there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.